What do I fill my time with? Who am I? What do I like to wear outside of breastfeeding friendly clothing? Who am I? What is up, mamas? My kids are down for nap time and quiet time. I've got my cup of coffee, all is right in the world, and I thought it would be a good time to chat about something that is on my heart that I kind of need to get off my chest. So let me start by admitting something, if you don't mind. It has taken me nearly 6 years to realize and accept that it is okay and even healthy to have an identity outside of being a mom, to have an identity outside of my children. It's okay. But it's taken me almost 6 years to realize that. When you become a mom, it can and should, to a degree, completely consume you, right? 70, to get 75, we would add a dime because a dime is 10 cents. You get so busy learning everything you can about your tiny little human and about their needs and how to meet those needs, and so much of my life revolves around being a mom, and I love it and I cherish that role. But I've come to realize that if I want to be the best in that role, then I have to step back and take some time for myself as well and have an identity outside of being a mom. Because what happens when my kids are older and they don't need me to have my eyes on them 24/7 all day long, every single day? I found myself thinking about this a lot lately. As my children start to gain a little bit more independence, my oldest is 6, so she's kind of at that point where she does things very autonomously and independently, and it's awesome. It's so cool, but it kind of leaves me wondering, okay, like when my other kids get to that point, what do I fill my time with? Who am I? What do I like to wear outside of breastfeeding friendly clothing and leggings? And what do I do when I don't have a baby attached to my boob all the time? Who am I? I found myself feeling a little bit guilty for thinking about these kind of things. At the same time, it's made me realize that over the last 6 years, I've completely thrown myself into being a mom and being at home with my children 24/7 for the most part. And it's time for me, and it's okay for me to have something that does not revolve around my children. I feel like this is something that a lot of moms can relate to because our children are everything. They're our whole world. So even though I have a 3-month-old baby, this question of who am I outside of my kids keeps bouncing around in my head, and I am finding myself trying to take a little more time to do things for me and only me, because I feel like when I have that time to myself, I'm better for my kids, I'm better for my husband. And I think, if I'm being totally honest, when we as moms get into that mom-only role, we can become a little bit resentful of that role and having to give ourselves all day, every single day. Because we're human. We're human and we have to do things for ourselves. So lately I've been finding myself doing things like reading, and I don't even know what kind of books I'm interested in at this point in my life, but I'm trying to figure it out. You know, I went from being 24 and knowing what I was into at that time, getting pregnant, and then 6 years suddenly passed and boom, I'm like, wow, I'm 31 and I don't know what I'm into. I don't know who I am outside of being a mom. I've also gotten more into learning about how to do projects around my home. This is something that I've kind of always been interested in, but I've told myself that I'm not good at, so I just don't do it. What better time than now? Why keep waiting? I'm home a lot more now than I ever have been. I think we all are. And what better time to start learning how to do projects around the home, right? Exercise and working out is another thing that is just for me, and it's time away from my house or, you know, in another part of my house that I get to just work on me, and I love that. It makes me feel so good. I'm gonna be totally honest, there was a period of time where in our house the only thing we turned on the TV was stuff for the kids. Mother Goose Club, Blippi, shows with unicorns and fairies. Now I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna find a show that I like. I'm gonna watch something that I like. Another thing that I've taken some time to do as I'm trying to figure out me as a person, me outside of being a mom, is journaling. It's a great way to reflect. It's a great way to just take some time for yourself, even if it's only like 5 to 10 minutes a day. Journaling has been so super helpful. I guess this is just a long-winded way to say that it is okay to take time for yourself as a human being, not just as a mom, but as a human being, because you deserve that.